friends, welcome to today's video. Because it has been very spotty posting on my channel lately, I thought I would sit down and do a mask with me, which always kind of gives me the chance to chat a little bit with you guys and generally the people who tend to sort of watch all the videos I put out rather than those people who specifically look for certain product videos or certain themes. If you've not watched one of these videos before, it's basically that I have a mask here that I'm going to put on for 10 minutes. As usual, I'm using the Nip and Fab Skin Glycolic Instant Fix Mask because it sort of just gives me a good exfoliation and I haven't used this in a while. Basically, I'm going to put this on for 10 minutes. I would encourage you to go get a 10-minute mask of your own. Then I will set a timer for us. I'll put on some relaxing music in the background and I'll just chat about things in my life. It really has nothing to do with reviewing the mask or talking about products. It's just sort of a chance to chat, but with a little bit of a tie-in that we get to have some nice skincare at the same time. So that is what we are going to do. I'm going to put my mask on now, so now would be a good time to pause the video and put yours on as well. Okay, my alarm has been set for 10 minutes. My mask is on, so let's chat a little bit. We are obviously still in quarantine right now, although things are starting to look a little bit better where I live here in Canada, but we're still sort of very, very slowly reopening. I wouldn't even necessarily call it reopening right now. For me, I've been lucky enough that my job has continued at home and I still work my usual like 8 to 4 schedule. So it's kind of funny because you would think that because I'm working my same regular schedule and I'm also at home more, so there's no commuting, I have more time in my day, that it would mean I would be, if anything, better at keeping up with my schedule of filming videos. And that just hasn't been so. And I think part of it is just sort of the mental stuff that's been happening, in that I've been finding this harder than I expected it to be. I think of myself as a pretty like introverted person who sort of is pretty good at being a homebody. But I realized there's something about that, is that the reason I'm usually good at being a homebody, oh sorry, totally hit the camera there, is because I usually get my fill of like people time at work. Even if I'm not being like in meetings all day, like the current job I have, I only have a couple meetings per week, but I work with my team and we don't, like not intensely with the team, but I have people around me all day. And I find that when I have that for 8 hours in a day and then I'm out on like public transit, there's people all around, that when I get home after like, you know, 9 or so hours of that, I'm ready to just like check out and I can like happily just watch TV for the evening, read a book and not talk to anybody and be fine. But if I don't have that, I find it very hard to have long stretches of days where I am not seeing anybody. There's nobody in my space. And I was even thinking back, those of you guys who have watched my channel for a little bit might remember that I did school for a year and it was distance education, so I was doing it on my own. But even then, first of all, I had more of an option to see friends in the evenings, obviously, but I would often go and work at coffee shops like 3 to 4 days a week for maybe like a couple hours in the morning, just to have that kind of flow of people and people around me. And even that would give me enough to sort of have my fill of people for the day. So even though I always thought of myself as very much a homebody, I'm finding it very hard to be so alone for stretches of days at a time. And so I've also mentioned before that I tend to really like to be in a good mood when I sit down and film these videos. And I've just found that it almost feeds back more in itself, that I'm at home all day and then I'm home and I don't know what to do with myself, but it's almost harder to do stuff because I'm in that headspace. So I want to say that's like the negative stuff. I've also had some really good stuff happen in the last little while. Again, some of you who watch more of my videos might know that I was training to run a 5K. That 5K was canceled. It was supposed to be last weekend on Sunday. So the last long weekend, or on the, no, I want to call it the May 2-4 weekend, which it was. Anyway, basically last weekend. And it was canceled. However, I was still keeping up my training schedule and I still went out and ran 5K on Sunday morning before it got too crazy hot outside. And I did it, and I also did it to my lowest time yet, which was 34 minutes and 58 seconds, so just under 35 minutes, just under 35 minutes, which was awesome for me. The other thing that I thought I would tell you guys about, because here's a weird thing that happened. I had some kind of like, I want to say medical issue. That's going to make it sound much bigger than it was. I want to say some kind of strange allergic reaction. A couple of weeks ago, I still don't know what it was to. Now that I think back, it may have been like a certain kind of gum I was chewing. All I know is that it kind of came over a few days. So I don't know if you guys probably know the feeling if you eat soup or like pizza or something that's too hot and you sort of burn the tip of your tongue. And then for the next day or so, it sort of feels uncomfortable to eat because your tongue's a little bit burnt. So it sort of felt for a couple of days like that had happened, even though I couldn't really remember burning my tongue. And then I woke up and it was like my mouth was so swollen. Now, I do have it happen every once in a while from time to time that my gums will get a little bit swollen. For some reason, I haven't had my wisdom teeth taken out. I know I haven't had my wisdom teeth taken out. They came in perfectly fine and my dentist said I didn't need to have them taken out, so why go to the trouble of doing it if it's all in there perfectly fine? But it does mean that every once in a while my gums swell up. It's almost like I can't close my mouth properly because these back wisdom teeth almost like bite down on the swollen gums. Anyway, but also my tongue swelled up and it was just like painful everywhere, and it felt like the entire surface of my tongue was burning. And it was kind of like that for, I want to say, about 3 to 4 days. So I did take like Benadryl and I took some like painkillers, but I couldn't really go to a walk-in clinic. There was actually a couple things I found out. We here in Ontario have telehealth, which is where you can call in and talk to a nurse. I've done that before when I woke up years ago with a swollen eye, and it was a really good service, but it's really jammed right now with people calling in about, you know, virus issues of what are happening out there. But I did call in because I just wanted to know like what could be going on, and should I go to like an emergency room? Should I try to figure out something? Is there maybe an explanation for this that I don't know? So I called and actually got through pretty quick because they sort of triage people into, are you calling about virus stuff? No? Okay, go on to this side of the call then. So somebody took my information, and I want to say this was at maybe like 9 a.m. one day, and I thought, and I mean I was a little out of it, that they said a nurse would call me back between like 7 and 11 a.m. the next morning. So would I be okay to take that call? Now, what actually happened was I went to bed that night pretty early and woke up and I saw I had a missed call on my phone from like 11:30 p.m. the day before. And then nobody called me in the morning and there was no message that was left. So I'm pretty sure the nurse tried to call me after I'd already gone to sleep one night, so I didn't get to talk there. I did eventually find out that one of the walk-in clinics in my area had video appointments that I did originally sign up for, but then it started to feel better before I had the appointment. So I ended up canceling it because I just didn't feel like I needed to spend the time to see the doctor. And it's not like I have to pay anything to see the doctor here. That's not an issue that we have in Ontario, but it had been getting steadily better for a couple of days at that point. Anyway, I still don't know what it was. I think it was an allergic reaction, but it makes you realize how like, okay, well, I can't go to like see my doctor. I can't go to see like a dentist even who might have a better idea of it just because of everything else that was going on. And it was even really hard to get out and get like Advil and Benadryl and stuff because, you know, I needed to go to the pharmacy, I needed to like line up to get in, and it was just a whole big to-do and I already wasn't feeling great. So that was probably my lowest moment of all of this, was just like, and even I couldn't even really talk properly because of my mouth and my tongue being so swollen. So when I was talking to my family, in some cases I was trying to like not really let them know there was an issue going on, but I was lisping when I was talking because I just couldn't speak properly. It was very, very strange. And yeah, just a weird experience to have. So I would say those are like my highs and lows. I mean, mentally, I'm probably doing better than most. I know I'm very lucky to be not trying to work from home in a situation where I'm also trying to provide like childcare. I'm here in my home by myself, and I know that that's an issue for some people, especially with young kids, that you're trying to work and try to like entertain and teach your kids at the same time, which is just so impossible to do. For me, it's just more about being here on my own. So we've now hit the part of the summer where it is warm out during the day. So I'm trying to set up more of a routine for myself. Because I think that's part of my problem is now. It used to be I would wake up at 5 in the morning and go to the gym from 5 to 6. From like 6 to 7, I would like have my coffee and get ready to go to work. I'd be on transit at 7:15. I would be at work at 8. And, you know, I'd work for my day and come home and then like have a couple of hours to, you know, do things in the evening. And now I sort of find that I'm sleeping in and I roll out of bed at like 7:30 to just be on my computer at 8. And it's almost like my life isn't structured enough. So now that it's hot, as I said during the day, I'm gonna try to restart getting up at like 6 in the morning, which is totally doable. So I can go out and go for a run in the morning, do some exercise before it gets super hot out, because it's sort of the only cardio I can do right now. And I think that will help me get in a better headspace. However, I would love to hear suggestions from you guys, because what's really been driving me in getting out and getting the exercise I've been getting was preparing for the 5K. Like, I knew it was canceled, but I still wanted to run 5K on that day. And now I feel like I need another goal, whether it's a strength goal or like, I don't quite think that I'm ready to start training for like a 10K, because I am like completely like just pushing across the line at the end of like a 5K. But it'd be cool to have sort of like a goal. So I'd love to hear from some of you guys what some of your goals have been, or, you know, what you're focusing on doing while you are stuck at home. And now we have reached 10 minutes. So I hope this was somewhat entertaining for you guys. It was a bit of a ramble, and it's also a little funny to tell you about what's been going on in my life when there's been like not much going on in my life. Every day is a little bit the same right now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm not gonna make any promises about videos coming up, but I would like to do more of them. Be in a better place to sit down and chat with you guys a bit more. One thing I might make a video about is you can maybe see this hair situation I have going on. I have a lot of white hair, and then like you can really see the regrowth. I actually had my hairdresser, I reached out to them on Instagram and asked them what home hair color could I do that will not mess with me getting professional color in the future, but I know it's gonna be a while before I can see them. So they suggested a brand of hair color. I've got it all. I'm planning on doing it later this week. And if you guys are interested in seeing a video about how that turns out, especially doing dye at home on really gray regrowth, let me know. I'd be happy to let you know how it goes. Fingers crossed it goes well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.